Hello and welcome back to the MC Championship video. We were blessed with the MCC 23 teams this week, so let's discuss each team, analyze their strengths and weaknesses, and try to rank them each from last to first. And I say try because damn, they're balanced. All thanks go to Scott's Major for these insane teams. A quick disclaimer, my discussion of each team is based purely on facts and statistics from past events. Nothing will be made up, and as for my ranking, it's all opinion based while remaining unbiased. So please, if you have something to say about these teams, then go ahead and join me down below in the comments. Share your thoughts on the MCC Pride 22 teams. Don't tell me I'm wrong, because once again it's my opinion, and yeah, I'm most definitely wrong with all of my placements, because although these teams aren't as balanced as teams from the canon events, there are still so many possible combinations for where to put each team. Plus we don't know the game order or what games will be in this event, and the coin multiplier therefore makes it impossible for me to get every single placement correct, but in previous videos I managed to get just a couple right. With that out of the way, let's look at our MCC 23 teams. In last place, but by no means the worst team, the Green Geckos, with Dream, Foolish Gamers, Tina Kitten and Connor Reed's Pants. Similar in many ways to the Green Geckos from MCC 22, as that team also had Foolish and Tina as newcomers, where they finished 27th and 39th individually respectively. They both participated in the non-canon Pride 22 event, with Foolish in 10th individual and Tina with 40th. Dream accompanied Foolish in Pride 22, which they won, and Dream has been on a steady streak of top placements, finishing 1st individual in MCC 22. Connor has played inconsistently for 3 events now, always bottom 10 individually just like Tina, so it's clear that this team is statistically appalling. However, as an all Dream SMP team, everyone has pre-event chemistry, plus Dream and Foolish are obsessed with training themselves and their teammates on the MCC practice server, so a higher team placement than last could be possible. Next up in 9th we have the Red Rabbits, with Tommy in it, CPK, Crank Gameplays and Shovel. Definitely going to be a split leadership duty between Tommy and CPK. Both are similarly matched when it comes to PvP and movement, so I reckon Tommy will take charge for games like Sky Battle and survival games, as these are his strongest games statistically, whereas CPK may resume that role for Battlebox. Shovel joins them, and for every canon MCC this year she's finished bottom 10 individually, but foes in this team's lack of confidence from Buildmart. A new player to canon events, Crank Gameplays had his debut last month in Pride 22, and clearly he liked the event so much he wanted to join the mainstream event too. In Pride 22 he scored the lowest in this team with 23rd individual, with his team 7th overall. Yet an interesting dynamic is created between everyone on the team, and Crank has been placed with some MCC veterans to ensure he gets the most out of his first canon event. Here's an interesting one to watch out for, the Pink Parrots, with Ranboo, Wilbur, Amesy and Blushy. We have the Ranboo plus Wilbur duo, which usually proves to do quite well, with both finishing top 20 in most cases, with a focus on movement games, particularly with Ranboo's unmatched hole-in-the-wall prowess and Wilbur's complicated situation with Ace Race, a game which he nonetheless is above average at. The remaining half of the team consists of 2 players from the non-canon MCC Rising event, with Blushy, who won Rising and then competed in All-Stars last year, followed by their canon debut in MCC 22 with 35th individual, and Amesy, who officially makes their canon debut on this team after 32nd place in MCC Rising and 16th place in MCC Pride 22 last month. Obviously this is a fantastic team for movement, perhaps to get the other side should be played late for this team to steal some last minute multiplied points. Now we have the Aqua Axolotls with Puns, Bad Boy Halo, Sylvie and Snifferish. Will be a fun POV to watch, although this team is statistically very awkward. Puns will have to lead the team thanks to his exceptional mechanical and combat ability, making him one of the best Ace Race and survival game players in the event. His team up with Sylvie was long awaited and should be intriguing to watch, as it will most likely consist of chaos and competitiveness. Sylvie has recently seen some visible improvement, now averaging middle of the pack, with her last 2 individual placements being 21st. Bad Boy Halo knows the rest of his team fairly well, mostly Puns, so despite being a very infrequent player, he won't come as a disadvantage, particularly as he holds up this team's already very high averages in movement games. Finally, Snifferish is very new to the event, winning their first dodgeball in MCC 21, but is currently the 2nd best meltdown player after he was played once in MCC 22, so perhaps they can replicate that performance when the rest of the team isn't comparatively as strong at it. Almost at the halfway point now, 6th place for the Blue Bats, with SB737, Sneak Snack, Captain Sparkles and Kara Corvus. Most people will be interested to see how SB responds to being on a team of players he's never teamed with before, despite knowing Captain Sparkles well, while simultaneously being the strongest player on the team statistically, and presumably will be the team leader for most games. SB, Sneak and Captain all share high movement capability, so no surprise that Ace Race would be great for the team, although Kara does struggle with this game. Team games should also work in their favor, because while build mod might not look good for the team, Kara has been an efficient builder, and SB has become a proven floater, securing 1st place in build mod all 3 times he's played in season 2. Sands of Time should be no different either. According to recent statistics, the Blue Bats must avoid PvP games or play them early on, but I think everyone here except Kara has shown that when they play aggressively they can rack up massive points, mostly in Sky Battle, in SB and Jordan's case. Here we go, moving into the top 5 teams for this event, starting with the Lime Llamas, with Illumina, Solidarity Gaming, Good Times with Scar and Cub Fan. A casual PG team similar to the MCC 21 Lime Llamas, which also had Solidarity and Scar. Due to an unfortunate battle box, their team finished last by a mile, so we haven't been able to see their full potential together until now. Under the command of a different S tier, this time Illumina, arguably the best mechanical movement player in the event, which was well proven when he teamed with Cub Fan, who's also on this team in MCC 20. But they lost Dodgebolt despite the 2 of them achieving their best individual placements of 1st and 14th respectively. respectively. So clearly this is a team driven by the need for redemption, and perhaps that's the only motivation they need to win. And this can be done through playing team games such as Sands of Time and Build Mart. Moving on to 4th place, which will be the Yellow Yaks with Sapnap, Jortron Found, Elena EXE and V Gumio. This team is just like the MCC 17 Red Rabbits, but with Elena instead of Tubbo. That team finished 5th overall, but it seemed that a better performance in Sands of Time and Build Mart could have boosted them higher. Therefore, despite the seemingly statistical downgrade from Tubbo to Elena, there is solid potential for the team, and the main benefactor here has got to be Sapnap, the Season 2 mastermind whose best games are, unsurprisingly, PvP heavy. Indeed, the MCC 17 Red Rabbits finished 1st in Sky Battle, and in that same event Sapnap had a massive survival games domination despite early deaths from his teammates. His close friend George, who also plays well in Battlebox, solidifies this duo as one of the scariest combat pairs in the event. Elena is quite new, having joined in MCC 20 and finishing bottom 10 in both their canon events, but it will be interesting to see how they fit onto this team of players unfamiliar to them. Gumio has also mostly finished bottom 10, but her 15th place finish and survival games pop-off in MCC 19 should not be forgotten either. The 3rd place team, who unfortunately barely missed dodgeball for this list, are the Orange Ocelots with Quig, Martin in the Littlewood, Finster and Eret. As expected, Quig will need to lead the team here. He showcased in the past his all-round skill in almost every game. You see, whereas most players are specialized in one aspect, for example PvP or game sense, Quig seems to have it all. He pushes this team's Sky Battle and Ace Race scores alongside in the Littlewood, who is also above average in these two games, and Quig also supports the team's numbers in grid runners alongside Eret. In the Littlewood has been found hovering right above the midpoint of placements, with his most common being 16th for Season 2. Eret has had a rough start to 2022, finishing 38th and 40th in both their canon events with MCCs 20 and 22 respectively, and in both instances their team finished dead last. Luckily, Finster has had a better streak during Season 2. Despite not playing since All-Stars, they won MCC 16 with 23rd individual. While Quig may have to do most of the heavy lifting here, it's evident that this team can still hold their own in team games. Here are the top 2 teams that could very well enter Dodgeball, although in actuality any of the 10 teams could make into the finale. This is just my gut instinct. Our runner-up team are the Cyan Coyotes with Jojo Solo, Smager, False Symmetry and Palace and Moon. Jojo has had one of the best individual performances in Season 2 despite still being in her early days for the event, from winning MCC Rising to almost breaking top 10 individual in MCC All-Stars, before making her entrance to canon events well known with 8th and 3rd placements in MCCs 21 and 22 respectively, but this time her team is new for her. Smager's recent performances have been very random and unpredictable, ranging from 7th in MCC 18 down to 24th in MCC 19 and placements in between, but he did team with Palace and Moon in MCC 22, which was successful, the team achieving 3rd overall, with it being one of their best individual performances for both of them. Smager and Pearl will particularly help the team for Hole in the Wall, a game which Jojo also won twice in MCC 22, so a game not to be skipped. False Symmetry is another player with variable standings, but excels at team games just like Smager, mainly for Build Mod but also Sands of Time. And in 1st place, although I don't expect a huge lead from them, the Purple Pandas, with Pizza Hut, Filza, Smallish Beans and Ginelli. Let's face it, most of the community will have this team as their favourite to win. It's statistically the strongest by many metrics, and we finally get the OP Filza Hut duo, with Pete typically securing top 10 placements, and Filza usually top 15 despite a poor start to Season 2. They will be supported by Smallish Beans, who recently teamed with Pete in the last canon event, where they both proved their dominance in the new game Meltdown. Joel also manages top 15 most of the time, which as you can now tell makes this team very strong according to past stats. Rounding them off is a recent addition to the event, Ginelli, who managed back-to-back 37th place standings in MCCs 21 and 22, while also making Dodgeball in her first event MCC 18 only to lose. As probably the most supreme PvP team in this event, survival games near the end could really help this team. Alternatively, Meltdown, Ace Race and Hole in the Wall could be beneficial too, but their chances of winning drop significantly if they miss Rocket Leaf Rush, as this is an outstanding game for Pete, Phil and Joel, and thus to secure the entry into the finale they really need this game. I think the thing to take away from this is that rankings are starting to become more and more unpredictable, and that's a good thing because it shows the teams are becoming more and more balanced. You know, looking at my own ranking, I still feel unsure about how low I placed the Blue Bats. Maybe they should be a couple places higher, but at what expense? See, if I move a team up a few spots, who should I move down? Even as I'm recording this, I haven't made up my full mind, and that's okay. Remember, these are just initial thoughts, and they will undoubtedly change as I see which teams are putting in the most pre-event practice, and which games will be announced and for which teams they will benefit the most. I might post my final predictions right before the event starts in the comments below, so go join me there to discuss these epic teams. Well, I've been your host, I hope you found this video informative and enjoyable, and I'll catch you all in the next MCC video. See ya!